Oh my god. Okay. Do I?
Just introduce yourself.
Okay, wait. I just repeat.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I keep shaking.
It's okay.
Hi. My name is Nigel. I'm 21, turning 22 this year, and I suffered from depression and anxiety. And this is my story. My story began when I was 9 years old. I was a pretty effeminate kid, and so I became a very easy victim to bullying. I would say the bullying started in primary 1, being labelled as sissy or gay, terms that are unfortunately in the minds of kids associated with a negative connotation. It started off with verbal bullying, progressed to physical, and then cyber. I did what we were taught, telling my parents about what was going on, but all I had as a reply was that this was just a phase and that the kids will stop. They didn't. So at that same time, I found out that my mom suffered from a mental illness called schizophrenia, and I think everything just went downhill from there. I remember my dad blaming me for multiple occasions when my mom broke down, saying that I was giving her too much unnecessary stress. So I started to blame myself and keep things to myself. So when I started secondary school, I wanted to start afresh and make new friends. And with the past experience I had in primary school, I decided I should put on a facade every day and like pretend to be this whole other person so that I could be accepted. The fear of judgment and the paranoia of someone constantly looking at me in crowded places started to grow as well. I would say in the beginning stages, I would often mistake it as a feeling of sadness, but I didn't expect myself to fall into a pit hole of depression and anxiety. My insomnia wasn't backing down, and I would lock myself in my room every day after school and start crying to myself. The anxiety also made me feel a need to be validated by the people around me, and I would hate myself for that. Experiencing something like that at such a young age was pretty tough for me. I started to indulge myself in a lot of self-pity and shame. It felt like I was alone, no one would understand me, and I was on the verge of giving up in finding acceptance. Luckily for me, I didn't give in to the temptations of my toxic mind, so I didn't take my own life. I would say that one of the biggest reasons was when I saw these scars on the wrist of my ex-classmates. I felt this heart-wrenching emotion that made me angry and sad. To me, she didn't deserve or need to do such things to herself. It was then I realized that no matter how toxic my thoughts are, if I did what my classmate did, the people who cared about me would feel the same. I guess it's through God's mercy that I managed to survive past those years. I did not really seek any professional help. The most I had was my school counselor, but it wasn't really my cup of tea. Things only got better when I entered JC and started to expose myself to videos that would educate me about this condition. I was happy to find a group of friends that were willing to accept me for who I am. They overlooked the scars in me and saw me as this person who really needed a listening ear. I still keep them in contact. They're great, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. I wouldn't say I'm 100% free from depression and anxiety. I still have occasional breakdowns, but they're getting a lot better. I'm getting my sleep as well, and I'm also off my pills. Honestly, I don't think it will ever get easier to recall the bad times. I think opening up healed wounds will never be easy. It's almost as if you're trying to go back to a moment you want to forget forever. So there's this quote that really speaks to me at this very point of time. It's by Liza Koshy. She said that you can have these conversations in your head telling you that you are not enough, but at the end of the day, you need to see that you are and more. I think if I were to know that quote when I was younger, it would have been a lot easier to deal with all these negative thoughts in my head, because at that point of time, it felt like I was running life together with these thoughts, and these thoughts were the ones that were deciding how I should make my decisions and how I should feel that day and how I should treat other people. If I knew that I could have these conversations and like these conversations are just purely false in nature, it would have made me look at life in a lot more positive outlook. I guess this is why I really wanted to share my story, because I feel like even though your parents or people in your home may not like be as supportive as you hope they would be, it doesn't mean that they don't care or like they don't love you and stuff like that. They just simply didn't know how to approach that matter. I think it's because it's too unspoken of an issue, and so they didn't really know what it's like to face someone with such a problem. For those who are experiencing something similar, I would say that things will get better. No matter how cliche that sentence is, it's true. Persevere and surround yourself with people who are willing to accept you. Don't be afraid to share your story. Every time you do, a wound in you heals. And remember, you're not alone in this. For those of you who don't understand, everyone has the story. How one gets depressed is different from another. And one's threshold to fall into depression is also different from another. So don't trivialize the illness. It's not a phase unless you help them recover. If you care for them, help them, hear them out, and stay by them. This is not just their fight. This is ours.